Petscop is
the only thing I talk about now, apparently, because it's the only thing that brings in any sort of views. So here we are again, because... Okay, so what anyone who's ever heard of this series has wanted the most, aside second only possibly to a playable version, the full original soundtrack has been released today, which is nice. Apart from the fact that it's not just the soundtrack, there's a bit at the end which I'm no doubt going to get bullied into covering. And also I wanted to talk about a few things from the previous video, so I guess these can have their own playlist now. So before we get into the new stuff, I want to talk about the things from the other video. In the last video, when I'm talking about the nifty gameplay videos, I show two videos down here, which are not from 2013, but from 2007, which don't in themselves contain any assets from Petscop. Those are from this channel, which I then showed, well, this image of. Those videos and that channel are not the ones that were discovered. Those videos were on this channel. I'm not even going to try and pronounce it. And they were these videos. Okay, those are the ones people discovered. Somebody else playing nifty. The first ones, the ones on the Mr. Yes channel, I am completely confident are Tony himself playing and just uploading a couple of clips of, because, you know, why not? I'm confident that this is Tony's channel because of the most recent video, the new video, Pieces of Paper, which contains Petscopy sounds and the voice of Paul.
Pieces of paper, pieces of paper, pieces of paper.
Because, bear in mind I can't count, about 6 days later, on his Twitter he posted a link to that video, which was the first video to be on that channel in literally 5 years. And what was posted 5 years ago is various tracks of music in a very PS1 Petscopy style. 6 years ago we have a story with a similar style of music in the background, and 9, 10, 11 and 12 years ago we have various games that he must have made prior to making Petscop, the earliest of which being Nifty. Something I also forgot to mention about Nifty is that it makes references to Garalina as well, but yeah. But it doesn't end there, because the Mr. Yes channel hasn't been completely inactive for the last 5 years. At some point in those 5 years, I have unfortunately no way of knowing when in those last 5 years, because the page isn't archived. They also subscribe to this channel, which is interesting considering nowhere else in any of their channel activity have they ever subscribed to anyone else. The most they've ever done is liked 3 videos, one being the part 3 of the nifty gameplay that got us into this in the first place, and one being deleted, and one being something to do with the kind of sounds and music that Mr. Yes obviously makes. I'm just checking that's actually factually correct. Yes, that is factually correct. Now, the obvious interesting thing about this channel that was subscribed to by Mr. Yes is that they obviously apparently make music and games. And the thing I find particularly interesting is I want to feel like this video is kind of interesting because it's a similar visual style to Petscop, but it's not just Petscop that uses that kind of style and assets. That's just kind of an old game thing, so I'm going to kind of not think about that. The one I'm talking about is this one with the cat. Now, I feel like this is a rabbit hole that can either go absolutely nowhere or go incredibly deep into a load of nonsense that is completely irrelevant, but all I'm saying is, at a push, they sound a little bit like Paul.
See, what I got me here is a little cuddle bug. She's my little cuddle bug, and she's a good kitty.
And if you remember that once in my first Petscop video, I did say I thought I heard some interactions with the cat.
Cat, what are you doing?
Long story short, this is a rabbit hole you could go down for absolutely ages, going to every linked channel and every channel linked from that channel and blah-de-blah-de-blah, and just go down an endless rabbit hole of nonsense for a series that's concluded and is probably, and you're probably just going to be getting further and further away from any actual canon material and evidence anyway, which I don't really feel like doing. So, Petscop soundtrack sounds innocent and negligible enough. It's the soundtrack, which you can now buy. But no, 42 minutes and 2 seconds in, we get a final, nice concluding little piece. We first start with Care, who is, fun fact, actually Tony from from like 1997, according to Twitter, so that's a fun fact. Saying, "And now."
And now.
Which was the description of the final video before this. And we're back where we were at the end of the video, where the darkness ended, and I tried to be all emotional and moving and blah blah blah. Let's just get on with this. So Paul walks over to Belle/Tiara, who is currently standing by a bench that we can see in the background. She says, "There is Boss waiting for her son, pal. Do you remember being born?" Nice little allusion back to the start of this whole thing. "Smuggled away driving to your new house." Wrong too, but we'll look past that. "Boss in driver's seat, me in back. I could not wait to be your friend." Wrong too again, but it's negligible. And then Paul says, "Family." Just like to take a minute here to say that I'm sure this has something to do with the transformation of Belle and Tiara. Belle/Tiara saying she couldn't wait to be your friend, and then Paul saying family, obviously suggests some kind of transformation from being one family into another family, blah-de-blah-de-blah-de-blah. It's all to do with the transformation of her from one person into another, and seeing as Paul to Leskowitz, she was obviously being turned into the Leskowitz. Yeah, we already knew all this. We can investigate this together. And then they walk over to whatever all this is, and they go behind this thing, and then that's it. I have no idea, okay? Let's just say it's a nice, wholesome and slightly open end. Can we just leave it at that? Thank you. Wholesome and happy. Like, happy care over here. Yeah. One day I might talk about something again that isn't Petscop, but for now... I have nothing to say.
And with that, abruptly ends Petscop 4.